Welcome to episode 103 of the 2-Minute Warning. Today on the table, I'm going over whether or not the Los Angeles Lakers are going to win back-to-back NBA Finals, led by LeBron James and Anthony Davis. In my opinion, yes, 100%. There is no reason they will not win the NBA Finals again. They just signed Motrezl Harrell yesterday. Huge signing by them. Their arch rivals, I guess, within their conference, the Los Angeles Clippers, Motrezl Harrell was on the Clippers last year. He won Sixth Man of the Year with them. So not only did the Lakers get better with this signing, they made their biggest rival, in my opinion, in the Western Conference, even worse. So it's a win-win for the Lakers all around. They also got Dennis Schroder and Wesley Matthews from the Bucks. So right now, in my opinion, you got LeBron at point guard, Dennis Schroder the shooting guard, Wesley Matthews at small forward, Motrezl Harrell power forward, and Anthony Davis at center. Anthony Davis is not a huge fan of playing center, but I do think if a championship's on the line, he will sacrifice and play for it. And the Lakers actually have some depth on the bench. They just re-signed KCP, also Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, 3 years, $40 million. They overpaid him in my opinion, but they still got on the bench. They got Kuzma, they got Caruso, they got Markieff Morris, they got JaVale McGee and Dion Waiters. Obviously, these aren't star talented players on the bench, but they're not nobodies. We know these players. We know who they are. We know they're capable, and they're really all are great role players to provide support for the Lakers. The biggest competitors the Lakers really have is, like I said, they got the Clippers, of course, between Kawhi, PG, Lou Williams, Pat Bev. They also signed Markieff Morris' brother, but they lost Motrezl Harrell. I think Motrezl Harrell, he obviously wasn't the best player on that team, but he might have been the best leader, in my opinion, on that team. And now he's with LeBron, who's arguably the best leader in the league. Now you got Montrezl company with them. I just think the Lakers got a huge move by this. Also, they did lose Rajon Rondo. He went to the Hawks, but there's speculation he was going to go to the Clippers, so that would have been a concern if LeBron was going to have to now face him in the same conference. But he went to the Hawks, where a team is not going to threaten LeBron and Lakers or even threaten an NBA Finals appearance, in my opinion, at all. Further in the West, you got the Denver Nuggets with Jamal Murray. He, before this bubble in the playoffs, was kind of just 50-50. He was above average point guard, really never took off, never underperformed. He's just mediocre, played average, but now he really stepped up in the bubble, and people have high expectations with him. Nikola Jokic, arguably the best center in the league, in my opinion. And Michael Porter Jr., still young. He's developing. He's going to be a great star. And they just signed Paul Millsap. So, obviously, between the Nuggets and Clippers, you got two great teams. The Lakers will have to play, but I really don't see either of them being an issue. The Warriors might have been a concern. They got Steph Curry, they got Andrew Wiggins, they got Draymond Green, they traded for Kelly Oubre, and the rookie James Wiseman, great center. I think that is a great addition for the Warriors in time. But all that, and you lost Klay Thompson, arguably top 3 shooter in the league. I really don't think that is a debate between Steph and Klay. Not many people are going to have anyone above them. So that is a big hit to them. Maybe if the Warriors somehow get deep in the playoffs, Klay Thompson could return by then, but even then, that's a risk. I don't see it happening. I don't think the Warriors are going to be trouble for the Lakers. And my biggest threat to the Lakers, if I had to pick, is actually going to be probably a surprise team. It's going to be the Phoenix Suns. Really, without Chris Paul, the Suns were already going to be a playoff team. We saw how they went undefeated in the bubble, and it wasn't for the Blazers doing amazing in the bubble, they would have been the 8th seed and played LeBron this year. We saw that matchup already. But now they just added Chris Paul, and they actually signed Jay Crowder from the Miami Heat. So they're definitely building. They're definitely adding people to their team. I just think between DeAndre Ayton taking on Anthony Davis, Devin Booker taking on Dennis Schroder, Chris Paul, not that he's going to match up with LeBron specifically, but they're probably most likely going to both play point guard, Jay Crowder and Motrezl Harrell. That's just really good matchups, and I do think the Lakers are going to beat them just because you got your X factor in LeBron. I don't doubt him losing, but I do think the Suns are definitely going to give him a run in the future years as LeBron finally shows some sense of age. The Suns are definitely going to take a spot in the West to be one of the best teams and make an NBA Finals run. In contingency, Chris Paul's still with them. He's getting old himself. Over in the East, yeah, there's some good teams with the Celtics. They actually just signed Tristan Thompson, 2 years, $19 million. But they did lose Gordon Hayward to the Hornets. Not that was a big deal. He's definitely dropped off since his days with the Jazz. But they still got Kemba Walker, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Any of those guys can really give you at least 15 a night, even at least 20 a night, except probably Marcus Smart, Kemba Walker, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown. Any of those guys give me 20 a night. Great Celtics team. I love Brad Stevens. Probably, in my opinion, might be the best coach in the league. I know a lot of people won't agree, but I love Brad Stevens in the Celtics team. You got the Heat, of course. They could go back. They just signed Avery Bradley from the Lakers. Great defensive point guard. They re-signed Goran Dragic. Still got Jimmy Butler. They still got Bam. They still got Tyler Hero. They still got Duncan Robinson. Arguably might be the best shooting team depth-wise in the league. Obviously, if you consider Steph and Clay outright, just those two, they'll beat anyone. But complete depth-wise, the Heat might have the best shooting team in the league. Of course, you got the Bucks, Giannis. They still got Chris Middleton, and they signed Drew Holiday. That's probably a pretty big move, but I just, in my opinion, don't think it's enough. Maybe through the East, but once he gets to the NBA Finals, they're not going to stop LeBron James by any means. And then, obviously, what everyone's expecting to see is a LeBron James, Anthony Davis versus Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving NBA Finals matchup. Yes, I think the Nets are a great team with Durant, DeAndre Jordan, Kyrie Irving, Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, and, I'm not even going to say he's an X factor for him, but 40-year-old Jamal Crawford's technically on the team. I don't know if he's going to stay there this year. Used to be a great six-man. Not going to say he's a reason why the Nets make it or beat the Lakers. But if Kevin Durant is back to normal, he's arguably, in my opinion, in the league, probably better than LeBron James just at this age, and then KD in his shooting prime. Kevin Durant probably is better than LeBron, but depth-wise, Anthony Davis is also in his prime. And a lot of people, not that Anthony Davis and Kyrie Irving match up to each other because they're completely different positions. A lot of people, in my opinion, are definitely going to take Anthony Davis over Kyrie Irving. Now, everything does change if James Harden is sent to the Nets. I don't think that's going to happen just because how much the Nets are going to have to give up, and the Rockets aren't going to get a lot in return unless the Nets are willing to give up Karis LeVert, Spencer Dinwiddie, and 5 first-rounders. You got to figure Drew Holiday went for 3 first-rounders. There's no way James Harden isn't worth twice as much as Drew Holiday. So it'll be definitely interesting if James Harden goes to the Nets. But even then, I think him and Kyrie will ball hog too much, be too ball dominant, mess with KD in his flow, and force KD to sacrifice when he should be the last one to sacrifice because he's the best on that team. And I think there'll be too much drama between them three. And I think they'll still probably make it to the NBA Finals because with that much star power, how do you not? But I think LeBron James, I don't want to say him not have an issue. It could definitely be a 6-game, 7-game series if this occurs. But every outcome I play out in my head, I have LeBron and his new team, which is arguably better than the team he had last year, in my opinion, winning the NBA Finals again with Dennis Schroder, Wesley Matthews, Anthony Davis, signing Motrezl Harrell, re-signing JaVale McGee, re-signing KCP, still got him the GOAT Caruso. How do you just not repeat? You didn't lose anything. You got better. And I don't want to say teams around them got worse because Nuggets are developing, Suns are doing greater, but the Clippers, I do think, took a step back, huge step back from Motrezl Harrell. And the Warriors obviously losing Clay, so that opens up the West for them. East, to me, if they play anyone but the Nets, they'll definitely win. The Nets will be the biggest problem. Even then, I think they'll beat them in a 6-7 game series. A lot of things to play out still that could change this prediction. Westbrook's still likely going to be traded. John Wall wants to be traded. James Harden wants to be traded, but we don't know if he'll go to the Nets. So depending where those 3 guys go, this prediction could completely change. But as of right now, I got LeBron James getting his 5th ring and the Lakers going back-to-back. As again, sponsored by Lucky Charms. We're open to sponsorships. Let us know. 2-minute warning. That's what I got.